Great, sir. We are there on the screen.
We are there. That's nice.
Yeah. Yes, sir. We are there. So let's wait for a few moments. Let the people connect with us, and then we will start with the session.
All right. All right. I hope the fire department is not too loud outside when they pass by. Not sure if that
No worries. No worries.
gets picked up.
So yes, we are there. So I can start then. The students have joined in. So, a
Perfect.
very good evening to all of you and wishing you all a very happy Independence Day, India. So, today on the day of Independence Day, we have another live speaker with us, Sir Hendrik News. We wish you a very happy Independence Day to all the students too. So, sir, a very warm welcome to the channel, and we thank you so much for being there with us and spending the time and this evening and taking out the time from your daily schedule. Thank you so much, sir. It means a lot to the channel and to the students.
You're very welcome. Happy Independence Day to everybody in India.
Okay.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. Our pleasure that you take out the time and you are here with us on the Independence Day.
Yes, of course.
So, students, sir is a web developer and an entrepreneur with his own startup in the technical field only, and sir is having the website name as melly.de, where you can just browse and see how good sir is in his own field. You can see the website and you can get the idea like sir is a technical expert in his field. So, sir will be guiding us today all about like why you should take computer science field as your career, and then in the computer science field also we have many branches. So, sir will tell us a glimpse like if you are going for the artificial intelligence, then what are the advantages of taking artificial intelligence. If you are going for the machine learning or you are taking Java as your main programming language, then what are the pros and cons you can have. So, sir, without wasting any time, over to you, and please tell us about your journey, like how you started from the scratch and you become a web developer.
All right. All right. Yeah. Thank you for the introduction. My journey, I think it all started when I'm not quite sure. I think it was 12 years old. It was the first time I had interacted with a computer at home, and I was playing video games, mostly World of Warcraft back then, and we had internet issues at home, so there was no connection and I couldn't play. And all of it started in the moment where I was not able to play and had to figure it out myself, because no internet means no way of Googling. So only trial and error, and getting things back up. So that was my first little bit of what I had when I had my first touch of computer science. This turned later into school when I had computer science in my high school. I built my first website, and this was just a little bit of a car website. There was only HTML and CSS, nothing else in there, all written in tables, and nothing like anything we have today and what we're working with today. And it was not a lot of fun, to be fair. It was just I didn't like it. I didn't get the concepts of it. Then we turned into BlueJay, which I think is a Java framework, and worked with that. Not too much into it, so I let it all go, and I was not taking care of it. I was not thinking about it. I never had the idea of becoming a web developer or a programmer in any field. And a couple of years later, I picked it up again with Swift, just really barely, a couple of weeks, didn't get too much into it, went on, did something else. And finally, 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, in the beginning of 2018, I started a little bit of a startup, a local startup in Berlin. And my idea was the first thing that I needed was a website. So I looked around, the prices were way too high for me to do this. So I figured out I'll just do it myself because I already knew a little bit about it, and I knew it was not too much of work to get something going. And so I started doing that. And then I talked to one of my mentors, and he was like, "Well, I've seen this idea before that you have for the startup. It's just not going to work. I tried it myself, but the website you built, did you really do that on your own?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. That was just a little bit of playing around." And so he told me, "Well, if you can do that, if you like doing that, there's a lot of money in it, and there's a lot of fun. There's a big business behind this." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And so I figured I was just looking around and tried to find out what would actually be a good way to do this. And I started using or doing a couple of courses online, and just started off working as a web developer, as a freelancer for a couple of projects, and that's basically the start where it all began 3.5 years ago.
But it was very good of you that you did your baby step when you were in 10th standard. Your website was there. We were not a part of that though,
Yeah,
but still it was there. It was very good of you because I right now during my 10th standard I was just coding Java, but I didn't know the practical like where I can put up. So it is very nice of you, and
yeah,
it is a innovation that you were able to do.
yeah. It was just a change of everything, and now you're just able to do it on your own, which um, it's nice.
Yes. It's just like you can just pat yourself, yeah, I've done the great work.
Exactly. I did this on my own. This is my work. That was good.
So next question that students are asking, like from where you get that spark, like I can do my hands on computer only. Why didn't you go in some other field like medical or all? What gave you that motivation?
I think exactly what you just said, the little bit of I can build something on my own. So I was in school for mechanical engineering, and I always wanted to build a car. My idea was one day I want to have my own car brand, my own car company. I want to build my own car. So I always had this little spark of I want to build something by myself. I want to do something, and at someday I want to sit back and be like, hey, this is what I built. And when I got the first glimpse of what it means to build a website and had the first website out there and people were actually looking at it, I was like, wait, I can actually do this right now. I don't need to finish my mechanical engineering degree and build a car in like 40 years because it takes a long time, but I can do something now and I really enjoy this. And that was the first time where I was like, okay, so there's something behind this, which I like. It just fulfills me. It gives me this feeling of I achieved something. I accomplished something. And when I got deeper into it, it got more into, okay, it's not just for me, but I can do something for somebody else as well. It's not just, it doesn't just give me the feeling of fulfillment and of fun, but also this helps other businesses and other people to do what they like. So for me, it's all my whole life. I've tried to get this one thing, or not just this one thing, but everything I do, I really want to enjoy. And that's the spark behind it. Like right now, this is web development. This is I'm not programming that much anymore, but back then, 3.5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, this was every morning. I would get up and I would have the feeling of, okay, this is actually fun. And you go to bed at night, and this is actually fun. I really enjoy what I did because I can see progress and I can see I achieved something today, and that's basically what matters to me. Like I can achieve something for myself and also help others, which is a win-win situation, and that's something you always want to be in.
Yes, sir, you're right. So, sir, please can you just throw some light about your startup and how your entrepreneurship began?
Okay. Oh yeah, that began even before I started getting into computer science. So the startup is called Mieli, and Mieli is the Finnish word for your mind. And when we started about a year ago, at least three of us started together about a year ago, we discovered that the one thing that we had in common was the mindful working. Like we didn't want to have the 14-hour days. We didn't have want to have the 7-day weeks. We want to have the days that we want to work. We want to put in the time that we really enjoy. And if we don't enjoy it, we want to take care of ourselves. So we always want to do what we enjoy in life. And so that's when we started building things together and starting doing projects together. And pretty much exactly a year ago, in the beginning of August last year, we founded Miele, the first version of Miele, three of us, and set out on this journey, which would basically become what we are on right now. And in January this year, so 7 months ago, we got Daniel on board, who's a fourth person. He is a mindfulness genius, basically, and an incredibly good programmer and understanding. He's really good at understanding problems and finding solutions. So he would basically complete the team that we had, everything that we needed. And so Miele is now 4 people on a journey for doing mindfulness work in the tech field, because everything we do, or a lot of people, let's put it this way, a lot of people in the technical field think 12-hour days, 14-hour days, that's the standard. You have to put in so much work, and this is not really healthy. A lot of people have mental breakdowns, burnout, everything that happens down the road. And we are still really young. Like we are mid-20. I think Vung he's already a little older. He's 30 now, which is still not old. We're so young. And it's not good to have mental health issues in that age, because it's only going to get worse later on. So that's the reason why we founded Miele. For me personally, I think my entrepreneurial life, if you want to call it that, started when I was probably 10 years old, and I started washing cars to get a little more pocket money. So I would sit out in the driveway. I would have a car wash with my brother, and we would wash cars all summer long for 10 euros. And so that's how we started. And then I was always bound to, if you want to have more money, if you want to have anything, go work for it. Earn the money yourself. And I think that came from basically a whole family of entrepreneurs. My grandfather has been building businesses for, I think, 60 years now, somewhat in there, and he's still working in there. My uncle, my aunt, my mom, all of them were all on their own. They all had their own businesses running. So for me, it was never a question. I was never a good employee. I was always, I want to do it my own. I want to do it my own way.
So it was in your blood.
It was, I grew up like this, basically. Yes. I had no choice. I had a choice. My family was always supportive of do whatever you want. But for me, it was always the feeling of freedom to do what I really enjoy doing. And maybe it's genetics, maybe it's just the surroundings of how you grow up. But for me, it was always the feeling of, okay, I want to do things on my own. I want to be in charge, because I think for me, one big thing is whenever I have an idea in my head, I need to do it this way and I need to try it. If I fail, I'm fine. I can find something else, but I really want to try it. And if I have somebody who's like, no, we're not going to do this, I'm not satisfied. I can't do that. So that's why I think I'm a pretty bad employee, and maybe a better employer, because I understand if somebody wants to do whatever they like.
So that was so very good of you that at 10 age only you were able to understand, okay, I want to do this, because we are just figuring out, should I become a doctor or an engineer? So, but you had it a very clear, like, I am going to be an entrepreneur.
Not in that kind of way, because funny thing is, I really wanted to become a doctor when I was 18 years old.
Okay.
I really wanted to do that, but I wanted to have my own clinic. So it never means, like, being a doctor doesn't mean you have to work for somebody else. Being a doctor means you want to help somebody. I want to help people. And that's always what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a children's doctor and have my own clinic, or hospital or whatever. Like I wanted to do my own thing as a doctor. Before that, I wanted to become a lawyer. Also, I had that when I was 14, 15 years old. I really wanted to become a lawyer, and for that also, like I want to be my own, on my own, my like self-employed lawyer, not working for anybody else.
Okay.
So
So can you
it doesn't
just
matter
tell?
what
Yes,
field it
yes.
is. It's always this, okay, I want to do this on my own. And I think that's the red line that keeps on going through whatever I do. Whatever it is, I want to do it on my own. I want to I want to do it my way in some way. I'm not doing it just alone right now, but we are doing what we love. We're on a common way, and we've found common ground, which is the perfect way to do this together. And it's even more fun than doing it alone.
So, sir, can you just throw some light over our young students, like how they can also just start thinking in your way so that they can also have their own entrepreneurship? So, we can just at least motivate them, then they can also have their own startup. Or if someone is
Yeah,
having
I
in their mind, like, I can do the startup, but that motivation is not coming. So, could you please motivate them?
oh yeah, like if you there's I think there's a lot of misconception out there about being a startup, doing a startup, or start something. Startup means start, and this is the most important way. It doesn't matter what your idea is, it doesn't matter how good you are or how bad you are at something. The moment you start, you are better than 90% out there who talk about whatever they do and they want to do. So even if you just want to go out and sell lemonade on the streets, if you do that, that's better than most of the people, and you learn so much more from doing that and failing with it or not being successful with it than just sitting at home and be like, oh, I'm not quite sure. So go out and start, because that's where it all where where it comes from. Start up, and you have to build it from nothing, most of the times from nothing. And that's where it all comes together, because if you never start, you will never succeed. You will never fail too, but failing is not as bad. Failing is so good. So start now, and do the first baby steps now, which means finding a name, finding an idea, grasping that idea, bring it to get a sheet of paper, write down what your idea is, and then just do the very first small steps, and just keep doing small steps, and that will make you so much better over the next 30 days, 90 days, or even the next year. You'll get increasingly so much better that there's no way you're going to stop after 1 year. No way, I guarantee you.
Okay. So, they are asking that I am just a teenager, then how can I start?
Oh, there's so many ways that whatever, like as a teenager, like I said, I started when I was 10 years old. I was washing cars, which was it's a lot of fun in the summer, to be fair, but there's so many ways. I think there's a lot of people out there, that talk about how you can start even as a young person. I know some guy in Germany, a friend of mine, Linus. I think on Instagram you can find him on Linus Codes. He's 16 years old now. He started when he was 14 or 15, and started his own business. And he had so much energy that he put in there, that he went to the court, because it's not legal to have a company registered in Germany when you're 15 years old. So he went to the court, and he fought with lawyers so he could have his own business, because he was like, why shouldn't I? I can do this. I have clients. And so it's all find the first person that's going to pay you for something. It doesn't matter if it's taking pictures, if it's doing a logo design, or if it's the first idea draft for a landing page, or a full-grown page on the website sites, or if it's your first little steps in the back end, with Python, doing a little bit of just a little scraping script for whatever. It doesn't matter. Just try to figure out who is the person that will want to buy what I do, and try to sell them for whatever money it is. It doesn't matter. In the beginning, the first success is the first dollar you make from whatever you do is going to be the biggest motivation that you're going to have. And it doesn't matter if you're 12, 14, 16, 18, 32, or 45. It's always the same barriers that you have. So as a 14-year-old or as a teenager, even though it feels like you have a bigger issues and bigger barriers that you have to take down, you don't. It's the same way. It's the same, the whole shenanigans. You have to go through everything, and it always feels like it is a lot of work and it's hard to do it, but it's not. It's even as a teenager, just start and find the first person that's interested in what you do.
Okay, so the age won't be the barrier.
The age won't be the barrier. No way. I don't think so. I've seen people 12 years old do so good work and so interesting work. It's probably not as high functional or high technical as somebody who's worked in the field for 10 years, but still good work. And it's the age. I don't think the age is going to be a barrier. It's all about how much or what can you do, and how good can you deliver the results for it.
Okay. So, sir, can you please tell us like how they can just put their baby steps in the computer science field? How can they just start of their career taking computer?
Um, I think this is an interesting question, because everybody, like, I get this asked a lot. How do I start, and how can I start my first things? And so I keep thinking about this a lot, and I think it is something. I mean, the internet is huge and information is free out there. Everything you need to know about computer science is free. It is easier in some different fields if you go to university, but it's just easier. It's not like you learn more. Um, so for me, I can basically only tell what worked for me, and that was starting to find an online course. I found some course, I don't even remember which one it was, on udemy.com. Took this course, and I kept doing it. And I think my colleague Rob did the 100 days of code, and this is a concept which brings which challenges you to do 1 hour of coding every day for 100 days. And the point which makes you so successful when you do that is continuing working on yourself and on your skills, and that makes it so much more powerful. So the first step would be find whatever you want to do, what feels best for you, because starting as a web developer like I am, or I did, is a totally different way of starting with Java or Python or any C sharp, whatever it is. So I think the web development with HTML and CSS is probably the easiest to start, because it's a smooth and easy introduction into what is it actually that I'm doing here. So I'm happy I did this and I started this way. And then just take 30 minutes to 1 hour a day and dedicate it to any project or any field of any specific task, and try to follow a course, follow along on something for the first couple of weeks, and just keep doing it. I think that's the first steps you need to do. And after a while, you will get a feeling of what you like and what you enjoy, and what you enjoy more, and what kinds of concepts you just don't want to get into. And then you get deeper into it. You'll get another course. You will start another YouTube video that you're looking at, and get deeper into what the concept behind something is. And I think that's the first baby step is start. Like I said, it seems that simple. It's the hardest part about it. Really the hardest part is to start and then keep doing it. Consistency brings you so far down the road, and I think it's only a matter of time if you put in the consistency.
So next question that the audience wants you to address is like in the market as of now, data science, artificial intelligence and robotics field is very trending. Everyone is going behind that. So can you please tell what are the career aspects, what are the advantages or the disadvantages a person can have taking them?
Yeah, that's interesting because I don't think there is the only disadvantage you can have in the field is you don't like it. I think that's um, I talked to somebody on Friday who said, "Well, I I did my bachelor's degree in AI and then switched fields now because everybody is doing it." And I don't think you should switch something because everybody is doing it. I think you should go ahead and do whatever you feel like. Really, like you need to get up in the morning and be like, okay, I really want to do this. And if your career path means doing something other than that, you're on the wrong track. And so there is, I think there's a lot of things like you will always have um like I'm missing the word. They're like you'll always have other people. You'll always have somebody else who wants to get your job. If you want to get hired as a developer, you will never be the only person. But from what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing right now, there's probably a million developer positions open right now at this very moment. Don't get me like the numbers are totally made up, but it feels like there's only 100,000 developers. So there's one position, and or there's one developer and there's 10 positions for him or her, and so it's out there, and it's just a matter of how can you present yourself and how much can you fit into this job opening or in this career. But I think there's no perfect career. There's no upsides or downsides of a specific career as long as you enjoy what you do. For me personally, a career in DevOps or Python would be just there would be so many downsides of it because it's just not what I enjoy. But a career in web development, when it comes to JavaScript, HTML, CSS, I would enjoy that. So, and I would only have upsides basically in that field, depending on the company. But when it comes to Python, for example, or Java, I think I would struggle so much with it that I couldn't enjoy it, and this career would have so many downsides. I would only see the downsides of it. That it always depends on your personal preference, I think.
Okay, so they are asking like, sir, we can just have only one language for the entire career, or we have to learn multiple languages?
Again, sorry.
Okay, so they are asking like for the entire career path, they have to take only one language as the heart and soul, or they have to keep learning many languages like one day Java, another day Python, and then C sharp, so on. Or only one language they can just go and fit themselves into the companies.
Um, so if I got this right, so which one would be better, to focus on one language or focus on multiple languages?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. For me personally, I would never focus on one language. I would
Okay.
never like become not a master, but get good at one language, get really good at it, but always know other things around it. Um, and because if you focus on one language, you will always have this one path that you go down. And as we know, the computer science field or any technical field, there is going to be some inventions, something new turns out, something new comes up, and all of a sudden your language is just not really relevant anymore. And what you're going to do, like if your language is not relevant anymore, and this is the only thing you can do, you're replaceable. You're just not important anymore. Your job is not important anymore. And this I think this goes for a lot of things. Um, I think there was this thing like saying like the jack of all trades is a master of none, which basically, yeah, sure, but like uh, if I can do a lot of things, I have a lot of opportunities. And if you should focus on one language, and you really have to do that, the only language I would focus on is human interaction,
Okay.
because that is if you know that, and you can do that, the rest is so easy. So if you know how to handle people, it's so much easier, and then you know a couple of languages, and you know your way around one or two programming languages, that's fine. Don't learn all of them though. That's for sure.
So the first
But
thing
you
is
never
all
get a
about
master of it.
people skills. You should have the people
Yeah,
skills.
yeah. That's the biggest learning I had in the last 2 years. If you're good with people, you can do whatever you want.
And you can make them also whatever we want to make. Same way.
Exactly. Being good with people is, for me, is the biggest advantage that I have. I was working at a bar as a bar manager in Berlin for a couple of years, and so I was talking to people all the time, all day long or all night long, basically. And if you learn so much about human interaction in that yeah, like drunken surrounding in a bar in Berlin, which is basically the party central of the world, um, that it becomes so natural, or became so natural to me, that it doesn't matter what I need to do or what a person needs. I can figure it out what they need, and I will be able to provide them with the right words so they trust me, and then I can figure out how to help them do whatever they need to do.
Okay, so that means you can have many people out there, versatile. You have to be a versatile of your own selves, many personalities,
Yeah,
according to
yeah,
the environment.
yeah. You just need to be able to grasp what you're like on the opposite, what your partner is saying. You need to find the wavelength that they're talking on, and just be with them on there, and then everything else is so much easier, and including a job. Get I'm pretty sure it's easier if you know how to talk to people, and you know how to work with people, to get a job as a Python developer, even though you don't know Python, than getting a Python developer job if you don't know how to talk to people. I'm
Okay.
I'm 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 almost certain that it's easier for me to get a developer, or a job as a Python developer, and make them believe me that I can learn this within the next 4 months, and then I'll be a better developer than anybody else in the or in the field of, or that are applying for this position. And this is only people skills.
Yes, we have seen there are many experts in the field, but they are not able to convey their message and then they lose their stake.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. Like, you can be the best person when it comes to building your AI model. If you don't know how to talk to the people who are, for example, who are financing your research, if you don't know how to explain this to them, and talk to them, and make them believe in what you do, you're not going to get financed. And then you can be such a good developer if you don't have the the how call,
Funding
like
details.
the yeah, exactly. If you don't have what it takes to make them believe what you do is really true, or is working, it it's 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 just not working.
Yes. So I think students, you need to have a very good grasp over your communication skills as well as the people skills. That's the first thing. Apart from all the technicality and all the career path, the first important thing is your communication has to be very good. Especially, I believe, sir, in English would be the best thing because the entire world is connected by English. So
Yeah,
they should have first
yeah,
of all English grasp.
yeah. I think so too. Like, I've to be fair, I've never worked at a company as a developer. I just started out on my own, but just talking to all the people in my network now, people that I know that are working for big companies, even here in Germany, they're only German only companies, and their language, the company language is English. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as you know how to communicate in English. It doesn't have to be perfect English, not at all. You just have to be confident enough to just talk English and just talk to them, and that's a really really good start to in any field, not just IT, not just computer science, any field. I think if you know how to talk to them, and then English is the basis for everything. Yes.
And I think our session is a live example. Like we from
Yes.
different countries, different culture, everything, but
Yeah.
English has made us to sit here together.
Yeah. Exactly. It is just if I go wherever it is, I know how to talk English. I can communicate in some way. We had some issues in Spain in the beginning of the year. We took a trip with the company to Spain, and we actually had some issues in Spain because nobody was talking English. Um, but it was fine. Like we learned a little bit of Spanish, and German was also pretty solid. But I think 90% of the world you'll be able to communicate in English and a little bit of sign language of like that going, I need to go there. I think that's why English is really important.
Okay, okay. So next question they are asking is, let's say they don't have any knowledge of the technical fields and they don't have any guidance from a mentor also. So which field they should take in computer just in order to just give themselves a push in order to just start.
Hmm. So for me, I like I said in school, I started learning Blue Jay or I think it is a Java. I still don't know because I
Java
lost so
is the
much interest.
programming language and BlueJ
Yes,
is the
exactly.
IDE that we use to code Java.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see. See, like sometimes I don't even know what I'm talking about, which is
No
totally
worries,
fine.
you were on the path.
So, but this made me lose so much interest in it because it was just not for me that I just not kept doing it. And I don't know where it would be if I started off in some different way. And I remember my colleague Rob telling me, I don't even know what he started with, but it was even more complex, and it's hard because the concepts behind these languages are a little harder to understand for me personally, at least.
Especially the
Um,
oops concept.
oh yeah,
They are just like the
just
nightmare.
for me it's like, okay, I can do the web development. I get it. And then we have Vung who's explaining all of these crazy back end DevOps things to me, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, dude, this is just like Chinese to me. Even though I understand what you're saying, I don't understand it. And so I think an easy start is always like going into websites, like build something with HTML and CSS, because you get results fast. You see something and you get something in there, and you can also use a little bit of JavaScript in there. But also there is different things. If you want to start off with C# or with Python, go ahead, but start small. Don't try to build a complex scraping system for a big website or something, but start with the basics and start small and just try to increase bit by bit, and then you'll have success. And it doesn't matter. I think that's when you do it that way, it doesn't matter what kind of language you try and where you start, as long as you enjoy what you do and you know, okay, I'm gonna need a little bit of patience in here, because you definitely do need that. And maybe that should be the first thing you should start. Train your patience. Um, but yeah, bit by bit, small baby steps. Don't try to become the best developer in the next 2 months, because you're not gonna be the best developer in the next 20 years. You're never gonna be.
So next question they're asking, like in 10th standard as of now they are learning Java because it is in
Hmm.
their curriculum. So they are saying like if they take Java seriously and they build a path in that only, so could you tell them what will be the career paths they can have in Java if they learn programming very seriously as it is there in their curriculum, so they can take it seriously and move ahead with that only?
To be fair, I don't know what the exact career is going to look like, because it all and this comes back to my belief of do what you really enjoy. And I think in the end, it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you as if you take the programming language you use as a tool, this is your hammer, and with that you can just go ahead and build something, and take this, learn it, become good at it, because it's not like you need to be a little bit, just a tiny bit of knowledge in every field, but find one field you're good at. And I think Java is something that there's I have a lot of friends who tell me, okay, if you know Java, like learning Java is really hard, but if you're good at it, this is so good. This is such a, you have so many options out there, because Java makes it so versatile to whatever you do, and it's used in so many different ways that it's hard to learn, but also the reward, it's so much better. So I don't I I don't even know, because there's not one single career path where you go when you learn Java, but I think there's probably a million ways you can go with Java.
Okay, okay. So next they are asking if they take Python as their language and they go for the machine learning. So is the market saturated or they still have the chance?
They still have the chance. And I'm saying that without knowing. I'm not an expert on the international market when it comes to Python developers, or any developer, to be fair. Um, but what I see is this is not a market that's going to be saturated anytime soon. Um, this is a market in any, and I think this is goes for any language as well. Even though, like, when I started off, I was told, okay, you're building websites, but doesn't everybody do that right now? And I'm like, yeah, a lot of people do that, but still there's more people who need this. And even maybe you will not find a job as a Python developer in a big company within the first year or 2 years. But there's so many opportunities, especially with Python, and no, not just Python, with everything you do, with every programming language, there's so many opportunities, and you just need to figure out what's the niche that I'm going to go into. And if you're not successful finding a job within the first 2 3 months after you graduate, or you think you learned enough to start a job, if you're not successful with that, find the niche that you can provide a solution to, and then you can build whatever they need for them. I have a friend who is a Python developer, and he was working in a company and he was not happy there, so he started his own business, and now he has such a specific niche that he's working in, that there is so many opportunities, and he's not even on a global market. He's just in Europe, and I think not even Germany. I think he's right now, he's just in Poland. And in Poland there's a lot of Python developers, a lot of them. And still he has a lot of clients, a lot of things that he needs to do, and that he can do. And so there's never a situation, I think, in the, not never, but and not anytime soon.
Okay. And so next question they have is like if as a student they will be driven into the technical field, so if they don't want to go for the courses that are available, the paid courses, then can they get themselves into expertise by taking the resources or extracting the resources that are available at free of cost only, or they need to
Yes.
have good certifications only, then only they will be able to make themselves expertise?
So the certificates are something you need when you're working with bigger companies. There is going to be companies or clients that want to see your AWS certificate or your Microsoft Azure certificate or any of those, if you want to work in those or if you want to provide services in that field. And we encountered those as well because we don't have any certificates in there. We do have in the company we have a bachelor's degree. We can actually have our what's it called? It's the apprentice. Exactly. We can have an apprentice. We're allowed to do that because we have somebody who finished their apprenticeship successfully and did the trainer certificate. But for example, the AWS is something we actually could do. We have the knowledge, but we don't have the certificates. So in some specific fields, you need the certificates to do this. But to start, you don't need those. To start, you need the knowledge. You need to be able to get the trust of your clients and make sure they trust you in what you do and they understand that you are the right person to do this job. And even your client or maybe a company that wants to hire you, doesn't matter, because if you want to get a job somewhere as developer XYZ, that's going to be fine because they already have the certificate or the company is going to pay for the certificate. If you can actually assure them and make sure they understand that you know what you're talking about.
Okay. And sir, like they can learn from the free resources also that are available on the internet?
Yes, I'm pretty confident that there's a lot of really good free courses and free trainings out there, especially on YouTube. You'll be able to find everything you need to know to become a really good developer. And with that, you need to understand the basics, I think. You need to understand a couple of concepts, you need to understand the basics, and then it is all about getting things done. Like finish 50 websites or something. And I think after the 50th, you're a master. You're better than any computer science student who has a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in web development after your 25th website, I'm pretty sure. And that makes it so much better because the training is way more important than the certificate, and the training is out there for free. Like I said earlier, knowledge is for free for everybody nowadays. As long as you have not 100% free, but as long as you have access to the internet, knowledge is free. You can find everything on the internet that you need to know about programming, IT, computer science, and everything else as well.
Okay. Next is an interesting question we have, sir. They are asking like if I don't like coding, but still also I want to get into the computer science field only. So can I just skip this coding part and still I be the part of the technical industry?
So there's a ton of jobs that do not require coding. Which, for example, if you're in a company, you have a project manager, you have people who need to do the sales, you need to do client satisfaction, to take care of client communication. A lot of those jobs, it is definitely a good thing if you know how code works and what's possible and what not. But there is a lot of things that you do not need to be able to code. For example, a good friend of mine, he just took a job at Google and he has never written a line of code. He's a recruiter. He's a technical recruiter, recruiting new people for the recruiting department, I think even, but he is inside Google. He's working for Google or Facebook, like he did before, and he has never in his life written one line of code, because he doesn't like it, but he likes the field. He likes to work with the people that do this work, and he likes the surrounding that they're in. So yes, there is a lot of opportunities. out there without being able to code and also be in the field of the computer science.
Okay. So next question we have is, as data analyst, do I require to code a lot, or I just have to go for the mathematics and integrations and the algorithms and it is done?
For a data scientist, math is, I think, more important than for others, but also there is so many resources that will help you or that can help you that are for free out there. That logic is really important in that, but I think logic, a little bit of understanding of how logic, like the mathematic logic works. I had to learn it the hard way because I learned it in mechanical engineering, and I learned in different fields in my life already, but I was never really good at it. And then I encountered a problem while programming. Logic was like, okay, how does it work again? And so I tried, and but I think the concepts are a big upside. And if you know math, but a lot of people keep saying that, and I think so too. You don't have to be you don't need a bachelor's degree in mathematics to be good at data science. That's you need to understand. You need to figure out how do I solve a problem, and then the math that you need for it, you'll just Google it. You'll just use Google. You use Stack Overflow, or you use a book to find out. You just need to know how do I solve it, and then you can the math. I don't think it's the biggest problem.
Okay. Next question that we have is how they can become a web developer like you. A roadmap for the web developer, as well as how much time it will require from them.
Oh, that's the so how I start off, like I said earlier. So the first thing you should do is find something where you can learn. What does it mean to be a developer? Like, what do I need to know? I had no clue. What really was good for me, I never did like market research and was like, okay, is there actually jobs for web developers? I just heard from somebody, oh, this might be nice if you do this, and there might be an opportunity for you. But for me, this was never. I set out and tried to figure out how much do they make, how much can I earn, how much is the salary as a web developer in this country, or how much is what does it look like? I never did this. I just started, and then I learned how to program a website. It took me about 3 to 4 months while working a different job and on the side while being in university as well, and had to figure out, okay, how can I do this? And I think I started off in January 2018. And by September of 2018, so 8 months later, I had my first client where I was confident enough that I could program a website for him and do it on my own. And funny side note, this project never finished because he just vanished. I don't know what happened to him, but it never finished. The website never went live, but I started, he paid for it. And that was the first 8 months was just learning 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, maybe just 10 minutes a day. But I tried to keep it like 5 to 6 days a week, learning. And the first project was actually someone close to my inner circle of friends. So it was a friend of a friend who actually wanted this website, and he needed an update of it. And so that's how I started for the first project. And I finished that, and for those 6 months I quit the job that I had before in August, I think, August of 2018. So I had saved up enough money for the next 6 months. And basically by the end of 2018, I was broke. I had no money saved up. I went through everything, no money in the bank, no way, like no idea how to pay my rent at the end of the December. And I was just, okay, everything's just messy. I'm just going to do something else. And then I had another project that came in. I was really fortunate that that came in at the right moment. But the reason why it came in was not because I was lucky, but it was because I kept telling people what I do. I kept telling everybody around. When I met somebody new, for me it was always like, "Hey, what do you do?" They told me, I'm like, "Oh, that's nice. I'm a web developer." So they knew what I would do, and I let everybody know um, what I do. And so at some point, somebody calls me, is like, "Hey, I remember you told me you're a web developer. Do you need a like? I have somebody. Can I give them your number?" And so went on and it went on and it got a little bigger, and I got more and more of those clients. And basically, that's how I started, and that's the first thing to start. And then right now, um, about when we started in Yale in the beginning of the year, it was more, okay, we're three front end web developers who know how to program websites. We don't need three of those. We need one who needs to take a little more care of the business side of things. And so that's what I do right now. So I'm more in the co-founder role than in the web developer role per se right now.
Okay, but your story is very inspiring, because if someone would have been there at your place, they would have just stopped all of the things during the bad times, but you still kept yourself motivating. That was the most important part of your life.
Yeah, yeah. It was hard, and it was I think a lot of criticism in there, but I think I learned a lot of that. My mom prepared me my whole life basically for that, and was like, okay, you're gonna make it. And even though during the hard times, she was like, "I believe in you. You can do it." And so it was like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing it. If others can do it, I can do it as well. And yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, because we have seen many people, when they face the real situation, they just run away. They just
Yeah,
take up their bags and they're just like, okay, I'm going. They cannot face the situation. That was
yeah,
very brave from your side.
yeah. If there's a lot of pressure, I don't know how or why this is, but I work pretty good under pressure. So the worst situations in this life, I think those were the best for me, where I was actually striving and doing the best work and doing the best I can for myself.
Okay, so they were just forcing you, like, you can just do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
It
that's the
was.
traits of an entrepreneur, especially.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that's just something. I think this is endurance that you need. That's the stamina when it comes to, okay, now I really need to grind. Now things are at the worst, and things are worse than I could imagine, and I'm still alive. I'm still here, and I can still move on. And this is why I said in the beginning, failing is not bad. Failing is not bad at all, because that's how you learn the most from everything.
So, sir, they're asking, like, being a MERN stack developer and a full stack developer. So, can you just throw some light what exactly they mean?
The MERN stack and the
And
full
the
stack.
full stack,
Okay.
yes.
Oh yeah. So what I understand, like from the MERN stack, you gotta correct me on that. Where I think there's the React node, the React node stack. Yeah, I think
And
um,
MongoDB.
exactly. Mongo Express, React, and Node. Yes, that's actually what I started off with. It was not the React part. It was vanilla JavaScript, but with Mongo and Node and the Express part. But the full stack, I think, is more versatile. You are more on different levels when it comes to the backend. I think calling yourself full stack requires a lot of experience, and there is a lot of really experienced developers out there who still do not call themselves a full stack, because they wouldn't like take this name on, basically. Because full stack for me is really, you really know what you do when it comes to the backend part. It doesn't matter what it is, you can solve it. And when it comes to the front end part, you do a really good job there as well. The MERN stack basically brings in. I know a lot about full front end development, and I can connect this to a database, and I can actually have a little bit of logic behind it. But yeah, I don't think there's. I'm not a big fan of the full stack position itself per se because it's so much that you ask from one person that would lose focus. So it's better to get one front end developer and one back end developer for that. For the MERN stack, it's more like, okay, I need a developer for the front end who really knows how to connect to the back end, but the actual back end, let's have somebody else do that, because I think that's a little more complex than anything that's done in the front end development part from my side. What I understand.
So dividing the things would be much more better than rather than taking everything on your shoulders.
Yes, yes. I would rather have somebody, and that's what we do. Like we have Rob and we have Daniel who know how to connect to backend, who have the concepts of backend in their skill set, and we have Vung who is a really good backend developer. And if he really has to, he knows how to write HTML and JavaScript, but he just doesn't do it. And he would never. I don't think he would call himself a full stack developer, even though he would probably have the skills with his, I think, 8 years of experience to build a really beautiful backend, and then know how to code a front end for that. But I would rather have one backend guy and a front end guy work together than have one person do all the work.
So, sir, our students they can start directly with the month stack, or they are asking like they can just take the baby step with the HTML and CSS, and then they can slowly and steadily turn themselves into mon.
I would definitely start with the HTML and HTML and CSS, because the React it's all based on this. So you start with the foundation. For myself, I took like 2 months, 3 months of my time dedicated to HTML, CSS, and the vanilla JavaScript. More to the CSS part, not the JavaScript part. But then I switched over to Vue.js, and I did learn a lot about the vanilla JavaScript, but I never used it. I never applied it somewhere. So I think that would have been a better way for myself to learn what I'm doing, and to learn actually the foundation, because from that you build up differently than when you start building a house and you don't have the walls yet, but you put in a door and then you build a roof, and go back, and then you build the foundation, and then you bring in the walls, and then you already have the doors in, and it's a big mess, and it's a cluster in there. And so if you start from scratch, go ahead and build a foundation that you can actually build upon.
Okay. So one student is asking like we are learning Java only, so he knows a few of Spring Boot and the Spring framework. So can he continue the web development in Java itself rather than switching to HTML and CSS?
I've heard about Spring Boot, and I learned I cannot tell anything from my personal experience, because I always did a big I try to avoid Java as much as I can. So this is a personal. I'm just not good at it. I just don't get it. I'm not smart enough, I think, for it. That might be my guess on that. But yes, of course. That you don't need to go with the HTML and CSS. I think it's good to know this, but like nowadays, there's so many different ways to build a website. You don't even have to, if you want to go into web development or building websites, let's call it that way, because web development, in my definition, requires code. Building websites, you don't need code for that. There's so many ways you can do this nowadays, and so why switch if you're already on this path and you know what you do? There's no need to take 2 steps back in order to do 1 step forward. If you're bored and you wanna learn more, Yes. If not, keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, so it means like with Java and Spring Framework, they can also become a web developer.
I think so. Yeah. Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
so they don't have to switch. That would be very easy.
No. I don't think you have to switch, or this is just, if you start from scratch, go this way. But if you're already on a path, keep following this path first, and then see where you end up. Because what I've heard from others, the Spring framework works fine for websites, and if that's so, if they tell me that, I trust them, go ahead. That's totally fine. It's better if you started this journey already. Keep doing it, and if you enjoy it, that's way better, like even better in the end. So keep doing what you're doing, and you don't have to go back to the roots and understand um, the roots of it and the foundation, because you already built something. Keep building.
Okay. Next, they are asking like how many approximate number of months they will require if they start with the scratch for the web development as a teenager, keeping in mind they have their school also. If they go this as
They
the
have their
part
school.
time.
I would say so. For me, it was part time when I started. I was not learning every day 6 hours a day. I was doing it at 1 hour a day, um, maximum 2 hours a day, but not more than that. Um, to get to a point where you are really good at it, I would say put in 500 hours. If you put in 500 hours, it doesn't matter if you can put them in 1 month. That's a lot of hours. I don't think you can put them in 1 month, but if you can fit that into 3 months, that's fine. If you need 6 months for that because you have school on the side, or you just cannot focus out the school for more than 30 minutes, it's also fine. If you need 1 year, that's also fine. But I think approximately 300 to 500 hours is a good starting point where you can learn a lot. On the 100 days of code, you go 100 days, 1 hour every day. That means 100 hours, which
Okay.
is a really, really good foundation already.
So it will be only of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or the entire MERN stack development. In which way you require 500 hours for?
Oh, for the MERN stack, I think. Yes.
Okay, okay. So
For the
for
for the
being
whole,
a MERN
yes.
stack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think like HTML and CSS, it's fun, and you never learn everything, but that works. That's maybe 100, not even 100 days until you're really good at this. If you keep the consistency up, um, within 100 days, you'll already have a good grasp of the MERN stack, and you know a lot about what it means. And then 500 500 hours it is a lot of hours, and if you do that within 1 year, you are really, really good, really, really good.
You can be the champ then.
Yeah, you will. 500 hours is. I mean, this is. Let's be real. This is the hours you put in to become really good, to start, and start your first business, or you apply for your first role. Put in 100 hours, and you can start applying for jobs, because you learn on the job anyways.
Okay, okay. Next, they have said that on the Google they have find in the computer field there is a field known as testing. So can you throw some light on testing as a tester?
Testing, like pen testing, and these things. So yeah, this is a field which is a total black box for me, because this comes more like, this goes so deep into it. I know what it means, and it's like the penetration testing of applications, um, and test-driven development as well is just something to ensure that something that was built is actually working. When it comes to development, test-driven development, this is um, this is something that we implement more and more and more with our company. Bigger applications, they require basically somebody who writes the tests, and then you have an automated testing in there, to figure out if there's a bug or something that's not working. When it comes to pen testing, I have basically no clue whatsoever how it, or what it works, what it is. I just know if you're good at it, this is a really nice job
There's
because
a
you can.
myth also. Testers make developers cry.
Yes, exactly. Yes, because they figure out where you were not 100% right, but only 99%. If you are somewhere and you're 99% right, they will find this 1% where you messed up. They will find it, they will expose it, and you'll cry. Yes.
This is, I think, it is the true. It's not a myth.
What's that?
It's not a myth then. It is a truth, rather.
Yes, it is a truth. Yes. Well, definitely a truth when it comes to okay. I mean, you're delivering good work, and you think, okay, I did really good work here, and all of a sudden somebody comes along and is like, nope, you didn't. And you're like, wait, what? I put my everything in there, and yes. So that this is it's the fun part, I think, for those people. They like to see people suffer.
Okay. Next, they are asking, like, if I go into cybersecurity, which domain should I choose? As a white collar hacker or as a black collar hacker?
Always white hat. Always white hat. I'm not a big I don't know, but cybersecurity always. I'm a big fan of be on the good side. Be on the good side of the force, basically, because the power is way bigger. I'm a people person. I don't like to hurt anybody. I don't like people who hurt others. And if you do what you do with a purpose, and this purpose is not to harm anybody else, but to help others, go ahead and keep doing it. But if your purpose is I wanna do this, and I wanna make a lot of money by I don't know, hacking into bank accounts or something, yeah, not a big fan of that.
So in the white collar, they are asking, like, hacking is important, but should we go for the defensive one or for the attack one?
I think we should go for everything when it comes to, like, as long as we're, because when it comes to hacking, I think this is something where it comes to the pen testing as well, and so cybersecurity is something that's really important, because we are working with a lot of data, like you've seen Facebook, Google, they know so much about us, and about different groups of humans. It's really important that this data is not used for really bad purposes. And so if all of this data gets into the wrong hands, there's just, I think there's a lot of harm to be made. So yeah, we need all the testing, we need all the hacking that we can to figure out how can we improve the security. And so do it all as long as you can.
Yes, sir, you're right. They are asking, is being anonymous on internet, is it possible, or anonymity is a myth?
Oh yeah.
Because it started with hacking, so they are asking such question.
Oh yeah. I think anonymity is a myth, until it's possible in a certain degree, but I don't think the full way of being anonymous online is possible. I don't believe in that anymore.
So your identity will be left somewhere else or the other. You will be leaving some clues in order to be traced.
You will. I think you will always leave some clues somewhere. Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
So I think you have to be very serious. Like, you are not just joking around on the internet.
What's that?
You cannot joke around on the internet. You cannot be reckless. You have to be serious then, it means.
Oh yeah, in some way. I like to joke around, but I always joke around, but don't do bad things on the internet, because people will find out. definitely. If you mess something up, if you do something illegal on the internet, bad idea. Don't do it.
So the people like your Instagram handle. They just went for their hand to your handle and they are asking like, what motivates you to make such videos and how you do it alone, or is there a team behind it who is making the videos for you?
Oh, that's an honor to hear that people think I have a team behind that. No, there's no team. It's only me.
One man army.
It's a full one-man army. I'm a big fan of cameras and photography and videography. It's just a big hobby of mine, so it comes easy to me to do all of that. All the videos right now and back a couple of months ago, a lot of pictures. It just is really, really easy to me. What motivates me on there is basically I can go back now and I can see everything that I did over the last couple of years, basically already, and having the opportunity to have that, and at the same time share what I do, share the lessons that I learned with others, makes me happy in some way that I can give something back, because I learned from others as well. Like I didn't figure it out on my own. I have others who taught me, who I talked to, and who I looked up to, and who gave me advice. So I'm trying to give something back, and Instagram gives me a platform where I can actually do that, because people are listening and I can give something back to them, and maybe help one or two humans out there who are struggling or not struggling. But that's all I'm looking for, and that's all what this Instagram is about.
It's like you don't know for whom you could be the guiding light.
I hope I can be a guiding light for one person out there, one
Yes.
single person, and if I can do that, if I can achieve that, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm totally happy, and
Yeah.
that's all basically behind that. Yes.
Yeah, we can motivate at anyone at any point of time. So, like your Instagram is doing, definitely. Even I have also read your captions and all. They are very motivating for the person, like how they can start their day and all. You're very hardworking,
Thank you.
industrious person. We can see from the Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's hard working. I'm trying to get more into it, because it's not just always work. It's not always work. It's also fun in it, and yeah. So
So, sir, they are
um,
asking how you grow. So, it took you how much time to grow on the Instagram?
to the 10,000, it took me, I think, half a year or something like that. Um, but it's the same with everything. Consistency is the key, and I posted for I think it was a couple of months every day, every single day. I tried to bring a lot of value to what I do, and kept doing it. I kept doing it, and people were interested in it, and so I think it was half a year or something, a little more than that, until I had the 10K.
Okay, so we don't have to be like a fish out of the pond. We just have to keep things that we are doing and just
Yep.
sharing with the people.
Yep. Keep doing it, and like literally, it was one post at least per day for 3 months straight, not missed one single day to grow somewhere. And I started with zero. Like there was no other account, there was no friends of mine in there, not at all. Like none of the people that followed me actually knew me. So I started really with zero, interacted with people, talked to others, and kept bringing value in some way out there, so people got interested and kept following.
Okay, okay. So, sir, can you just have a final word for our upcoming programmers that we can have in our country as well as in the entire globe?
Final words. I think the biggest issue right now is, or the biggest lesson you need to learn, is the consistency. I keep preaching that, but keep doing what you're doing. Trust the process behind it, and there is going to be the bad days, but there's also going to be good days, and in the end, the good days will be more, and yeah, it's just about having the fun, enjoy the life, everything in life, and be more happy. I think that's the most important thing, because happiness is a choice. So be more happy. You will enjoy what you do, and keep doing it, and you will end up in a good place.
Definitely, sir. If the mental peace is ruined, then nothing is possible.
Yes.
Because we have seen everywhere, because mental health is very important. Even many people
Oh
are
yes.
taking the
Yes.
campaigns over it.
Yes. So it's such a big issue, especially in the computer science field. Um, n- don't work for 12 hours every day. Enjoy the life out there. Um, do whatever you want to do. Do what makes you happy, and enjoy every minute of it. Every single minute. Some more, some less, but enjoy every minute.
Okay. So the people are liking and they are just wishing you thank you and thanks Eternal all the best for the future. We have very good comments. They just loved your session.
Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Thank you everybody for joining in, and thank you for the nice words in
Thank
the
you so much,
comments.
sir, for giving your time and taking out the time from your busy schedule. That too, even on the Sunday evening for us. It means a lot to us, a lot to us.
Of course, you're very
We are
welcome.
obliged, sir, to
You are
have you.
very
It was
welcome.
such a good session. Everyone was interested, and I hope we were able to motivate few of the coders, and they will be a good web developer like you.
I hope so too.
Sometimes might be in Germany when they be visiting, they might remember you. You were the person that just
Oh
motivated.
yeah. Oh yeah, I hope so. I hope so. If that happens, hit me up. Hit me up, of course. Let me know.
Definitely, sir. I will let you know. Thank you so much, sir, from the bottom of the heart for spending the time with us and educating the country and everyone
You are
out
very
there.
welcome. You are very welcome.